Hi, everyone. Oh my goodness, technology. So for those of you who are joining me, we're talking about how to live in your soul's purpose. But write the word predictions down below if you haven't already received my channeled predictions for the year. They're really good. It's a beautiful, beautiful ebook, and you get to keep that ebook all year long. And I break it down month by month, and you can read it as the months go on and see how accurate I am. But I give a lot of tools and techniques on how to live your best year yet. For those of you who don't know me, if it's jumping out there somewhere, I'm Marilyn, Alauria, psychic medium, teacher, and coach. And I teach people around the world how to engage their own gifts. Everybody has gifts. We all have them. So how to engage your gifts and create the life that you really want to live, a life filled with joy, peace, harmony, and balance. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. So I'm making sure that, I'm a one woman show. So I'm making sure that my live is showing up so I can pin it on this page. And I don't see it. There it is. Yay! All right. So we have a lot to talk about today. We're talking about specifically how to live in your life's purpose. So yes, make sure you write predictions if you want the prediction, if you haven't received it yet. Hi, Susan. Hi, Bernice. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Angela, Rare, Melanie, Karen. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here with me. So I want to start off, we're going to do a couple little things today to get you comfortable with what your soul purpose is. Last week, if you didn't watch that video, we talked about what is your soul's purpose. And I believe that there's a lot of information out there about what your soul's purpose is. And really, honestly, your soul's purpose lies in your joy, in your peace, in your harmony, in your personal gifts. It's your soul's purpose could be, for me, it's serving others, right? But serving ourselves first and then serving others. And then it's about using what we want to do to serve others. It's not serving others by doing things that we can't stand doing. So we want to stop that, stop the presses. We're no longer going to do things that we don't want to do. So I want to tell you a few stories about how I came into my own soul's purpose. And I hope that they inspire you. I think that they will inspire you. And then we're going to play some games with your guides on how to really get specific about your soul's purpose. Because getting specific about your soul's purpose doesn't cost anything. Getting to know yourself doesn't cost anything. So for those of you who don't know, when I was in college, I was studying accounting. And I like numbers, but I'm not really the accounting type. I think I got a D in that class. And I always wanted to be an actress. I always wanted to be in TV. That was like when I was younger. And my brother said to me, what are you doing? Why are you studying accounting? Go into communications, television communications. So I switched colleges. I started studying television communication. I interned at MTV. I really enjoyed it. I didn't want to be in front of the camera at that point. And I started interning at MTV. I stayed in touch with MTV. And before I even graduated, I landed a job at MTV. And it was great, right? Like I was at MTV when it was really cool to be at MTV. Not that it's not cool to be at MTV right now, but the average age was 26. We were like bowling down the lanes. We were like, I was doing pogo balls. We were like drinking Jägermeister in our offices. We were having a lot of fun and working our butts off. We were there from morning until night. But here's what happened. I'll never forget. I was at spring break. Remember those famous spring breaks? Having no sleep whatsoever. And I was getting out of the shower and I was like, I hate this. I hate it. And I was crying. And I was like, what am I going to do? How many of you had these moments, right? Should I be a teacher? What should I do? What do I need to do right now? And I went to my job and struggled with that question for quite some time. What do I want to be? What do I want to do? And then I went to a therapist, and we started talking about the things that really made my heart sing. And I started getting back in touch with me as a little girl who had all these things that made my heart sing, right? So I started listing what I wanted to do. And through that therapy, when I was working with her, she had me take improv acting classes to get more confident and secure. By the way, improv acting classes, when I'm going to do a retreat this year, and I'm going to bring improv acting classes into that retreat because let me tell you, building confidence, doing improv, everybody should take an improv class. So anyway, I did improv classes, no desire to be an actress, and still was in those improv classes, and I was accelerating in my career in TV. I was at NBC, I was at NBC Olympics, I was at Fox News, I was I won an Emmy at NBC Olympics, and all this stuff was happening. And then I started falling in love with acting. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I'm going to do. And I'll never forget the moment. I think it was at NBC or I was at Fox at that time. I don't remember. But I turned around to a friend of mine and I said, I'm giving all this up and I'm going to become an actress full time. And that's it. So I made a plan and I got into NBC. I was at a contract. I decided the contract ended. I went out and pursued acting full time. And within 4 months, I got the lead in an off-Broadway play. Some of you may know it, Tony and Tina's Wedding. I was Tina. My prayer to God was, I want to act for a living and I want to get married. So I got an acting job where I got married every night. So it was not what I meant. I was like, what? And then I met my boyfriend there and then we broke up and all that kind of stuff happened, whatever. So I was acting. And I started feeling about acting. And then I started learning about my gifts because they were opening up. And I never ever thought that I'd be doing what I do today. But when you start studying how to use your gifts, you have to learn, you have to use them. You have to practice on people. And I'll never forget the first readings I ever did, readings with people with my teacher's class and all of that. And I was getting names and I was talking to spirits and I was getting so many specifics. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. It was just coming through me. And I started teaching people too. I was teaching people before I was doing readings because it's what I love to do. And then all of a sudden I was working on a murder case, a celebrity murder case as a medium, which I'm going to be doing a podcast about because it's a great case. And I was working on this murder case and I had to leave to go do a film. And I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave to do the film. And I went begrudgingly to do the film. And I said, that's it. I quit. I have no interest in acting anymore. I have no interest in being somebody else besides myself. I called my commercial agents up. I think I emailed them or something. And I said, I'm done. Don't send me out anymore. I took my name and everything off of everything. And I fell into this career that I've been in now over 10 years that I absolutely love, that continues to accelerate and grow. My thing to you is that MTV, when I first started working there, I just started taking classes in college, not knowing where it was going to lead me. But I started taking fun TV classes, landed a job. Then I started taking improv classes, not knowing where it was going to go. I just wanted to, my therapist suggested it. I always wanted to try acting. I tried it, fell in love with it, became an actress. Then I just started studying about these gifts because I was fascinated with them and they were frankly making me nuts. People showing up. And then I fell in love with this. When you follow what you love, magic happens. So before we do any work right now, I want you to just get into the space right now in your heart. And I want you to recall a dream that you had when you were a child. You could close your eyes and do this right now. And I just want you to go back to a time when you were young. And some of you may not remember when you were young, so it may be last week, when there was something you really wanted to do. And I want you to write it down in the comments. I want you to write down what that was. And I want you to be afraid of it. Because what happened is when I wanted to be an actress right at 5 years old, and I was so sensitive, and my mother's friend, who didn't mean any harm, she loved me, said, oh, you can't do that. You're like this little girl in Brooklyn. You can't do that. And all I heard was everything she was feeling, probably all her squash dreams. And it made my dreams like this, pushed my dreams down. So many of us have our dreams pushed down at a very early age. So I want you to acknowledge them, because when you acknowledge them, you take the brackets off. You let them be what they want to be. So for right now, right? I love writing. I wanted to act at one time. I do like performance in terms of speaking to people, teaching people. I'm getting to do all of this now, but with what I really love. I'm not even the moments of exhilaration for me and being petrified. was performing my own monologues in front of an audience, something I'd written. And I'm sure one day I will write my story and then do it as a performance, you know, because it's something that's in my heart and soul to teach through that. So write down what you love to do. Okay. And for those of you just joining me, remember, if you want my predictions, to type in predictions into the feed. And what we're doing right now, if you're just joining me, and also remember, give me loves and likes, loves and likes. I love love and likes. And we're going to all write Facebook and ask them to add stars for Marilyn, because she wants stars. So let's see what some of you said, because we're going to take this further. So what I'm teaching you about your soul's purpose, it's not about what's out here. It's not, you don't start out from the place of, I need to make this much money. You need to make an investment in yourself. That's what your soul's purpose is about. Making an investment in yourself. What does that mean, right? Making an investment in yourself. What that means is following your joy and bliss. And some of you don't know what that means, what your joy and bliss is. So let's take it right piece by piece. But investing in yourself is the most important thing that you can do for yourself on your journey. I was talking to somebody yesterday because I'm going to start rolling out my Mastermind for Your Soul program soon. And I don't think she'll mind me saying this. Of course, I won't say her name. But she was hesitant about the program because what trips people up? Money, right? She was hesitant about it. And she was like, well, when are you going to roll it out again? Here's my question to all of you. What are you waiting for? What's going to be different now from 3 months from now if you don't start working on yourself right at this moment and investing in yourself? Nothing. The biggest changes that happened in my life was when I invested in myself, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Right now, I'm in a huge investment of self right now. And I think you could feel it in my energy is shifting a lot. And I know it's getting me ready for the next stage. You have to invest in yourself. Okay, so let's see what some of you said. And let's work further with this. So Rare says, I wanted to be a professor, a lecturer of literature. Love that. So I'm going to read a couple of these and then we're going to take this further. Majka, hope I'm saying your name right, honey. Forgive me if I'm not. I wanted to be an actress. Now I know that it's being on stage as a teacher I love best. Great. She took it a step further. Willick says, discover, share, and teach. Guys, I'm going to probably butcher your names. Forgive me. Who else? Wendy says, make art and garden. Great. Love it. Susan said, I also wanted to be Sleeping Beauty with the prison apple in my mouth that Prince Charming gets rid of by kissing me. I think she also said she wanted to act. I saw that somewhere along the line. I love that. Jessica says, this is crazy. I just said to myself and went through this with myself today of what I wanted to do. And 2 of them I'm doing child care provider and dog breeder. And the other one I'm working on. Beautiful. That's great. Jocelyn says, fabric designing, didn't have enough courage to pursue it. Yes, but I want you to gain the courage. That's what these conversations are about. Barbara said, I wanted to be a professional golfer. Now, here's an interesting one, right? Barbara wanted to be a professional golfer. Barbara, if you're still on, I want you to work with me here, and I want everybody else to do this too. Maureen says, build forts I could live in and live with the fairies. Also become famous and give money to hungry kids. Great. Let's break this down further. Oh, it's Micah. Ah, Micah, thank you. You spell it different than my dog. Let's break this down further. Golfer, Barbara, Jocelyn, making fabrics. Forgive me, I'm forgetting people now. So what about it? What do you feel it's going to bring you? What emotional experience do you feel those things would bring you? So for me, teaching people makes me feel really excited because I feel like I'm transforming people's lives. And I had people transform my life when I was stuck and depressed and really suicidal and sad. So to be able to give back to other people through a creative outlet, making people think creatively out of the box, complete joy, complete excitement. I love it. It's amazing to me. What else do I love? It allows me to have the day I want to have. Allows me to, I don't work for a corporation. I work for myself. So I can get up and go running in the park with my dogs this morning, and watch them run around and roll around the grass. I get to do that. I get to have my life. I get to have a great team meeting with my team. So it's all of these things. So we want to break down what emotional experience do you think that doing these types of jobs will bring you. So start breaking it down now and write it down. So Susan says, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes, not a few minutes, I'm going to give you a few seconds to catch up, only because I want you to really hear this next part, because this is super important, because so many of you are chasing a dream and you're having difficulty grabbing it. Now, some of you are coming from scarcity, lack, fear, consciousness. You think it's too late. You think, let's hear some of the excuses now. It's too late. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. Who's going to pay my bills? I'll never be able to do it because I sucked at everything else. Let me tell you, you probably sucked at everything else because you never went after your dream. And maybe some of you really went after your dream and you didn't get it because of timing, because you needed to build a character trait. Doesn't mean you give up the vision. All right. So Susan says joy and fulfillment, right? Angela says training and coaching. So great, Angela, since I think you're joining us late, tell me what emotional experience that's going to give you. Like Susan said, joy and fulfillment. Everybody break it down. Sense of accomplishment and sharing with others and out of a box way. But I'm glad you broke it down even further. Joy and fulfillment. That's really important. Come on, guys, bring them in. I want to know what your emotional experience is. So I'm not getting responses here. So what's going on? Are you lost? Are you confused? Do you not know what I'm saying? So I want to hear from you. What emotional experience do you think working in this soul's purpose job will bring you? Okay. So maybe it's just catching up, and I'm going to check my Facebook page. Maybe you don't know, and we're going to go further then, because I don't want to see, Susan said it right away, joy and fulfillment. I'm not getting any answers. So what's going on there? Let's see. Oh, here it comes. Here they come. Okay. So Micah says inspiration and fun. Great. Jocelyn said, I never thought about the emotional experience before. Creativity, seeing my designs on fabrics available for others. Yes. Facebook locked up. Okay, could be. Jasmine says freedom and fulfillment. Teresa says some comfort. It's interesting she says some comfort. Why some? Sandra says, I'm in the beginning of my dream. We have to set up. Do we really want materially? This feels incredible. What was marvelous about that is my husband pointed it out to me at the time when I was having a crisis. I'm now putting into place my business so we have an income so we can take part of that dream. Good. Having an income to take part of your dream is important. Pat says justice. Interesting one, Pat. Wendy says joy. Angela says excitement and no need to really exert myself. I find it exhilarating when the sessions start. Exactly. Exactly. I am working very, very diligently right now and very focused. And some would say even a little hard right now, but hard, not in the way where I'm like hard, like, whoof, wow, let's go. It's really exciting. Peggy says love. Carrie says love. Pamela says I'm dancing my soul's path, what brings me emotional liberation. Great. The one dream I'm looking for is the teacher. Haven't found her yet. I think it's the teacher in you, because if you're looking outside yourself, I don't want you doing that. I mean, you should study with someone if that's going to make you happy. People study with me, so I get that. I've studied with people, which is great. Nancy, thanks for the stars. Give me likes and loves. I love the likes and loves. Okay. And Wendy said effortless. Okay. So you guys now, that's great. So Liliana, this is great. She says, I'm beginning to set up a Reiki practice. When I hear what people tell me of how they feel afterward, it makes me feel happiness and I'm able to help people. Want to make this my main income. Okay. Liliana, take it further. One thing you want to do when you go into a business for yourself is this is going to be a catch-22. You don't want to be dependent on what people feel about you. Now, this is tricky, and there's a reason why I say this. You definitely need feedback. It's great to have feedback because you know how to go further into things. It definitely helps to know, oh, that worked, this didn't work. The thing that happens that can be tricky, and I'm not saying you're doing this, Liliana, I'm using this as a teaching tool. You get the person who loves you and you're like, oh, that felt great. Then you get the person who hates you. What happens? Oh, that's horrible. Then you get the 100 people that love you and the 2 people that hate you. What do you think happens? You focus on the 2 people that hate you. So we really want to continue to search inside ourselves as to what about this career makes us feel great. People leaving and feeling happy makes you feel really wonderful. Tap into that. What is that? Well, I'm connected to God. I'm connected to source. I'm doing God's work. I'm helping someone to get forward. Therefore, I'm helping myself. Every time as a healer, as a teacher, as a communicator, as a reader, every time I read someone else or I coach someone else, I'm also helping myself. So it's a beautiful experience, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm moving myself out of the way, but it accelerates my vibration as well. So that's great. All right. Feeling happy and motivated because it's pure passion, inspiration, comfort. Although I wanted to work as a teacher, I still work with kids as a bilingual instructional assistant. I'm going out with a police, which was my other dream. That's great. Love that. I come from a family of police officers, Bernice. So, and my best friend's a retired captain, father's deputy inspector. So I have a lot of love for law enforcement. All right, great. So now this is what I want you to do. I want you all to close your eyes. And I want you to breathe into that part of yourself that is that expression of truth, is that expansion, is that joy, is that happiness, is that inspiration and clarity like Flo just wrote. I want you to close your eyes and find where that lives inside your body and breathe into it right now. And just take a few moments to do that. Notice what it feels like to breathe into it. Notice if you feel stuck, or notice if it feels really exhilarating. Notice where it lives inside of you. Now give it a color and a shape. And then see a cord growing out of it, out into your external world. And notice where today in your external world you experience this feeling. It may just be one place. It may just be having a cup of tea in the morning. It may not be in a lot of places, which is making you aware. All I want you to do right now is to feel that feeling inside of you of what this soul purpose job gives you. See a cord grow out of that and touch different external things in your life. Where is this experience existing in your life today? And if it's not existing in your life today, we're going to take it a step further. But I want to now I want you to have this experience, feel it. And I'll give you an example. So for me, it's absolute connection to God. Absolute connection for me. I believe in God. So where do I have that in my life? Obviously teaching all of you, being on Facebook Live, absolute connection for me. Going on hikes with my dogs and connecting to nature. Meditation, channeling, connection. It lives everywhere in my life, you know, not playing tennis even, I would say, because it's allowing me to do something I love and I'm enjoying. Maybe that's not connection to God. That's more joy and play and fun, which is God. Okay. So now go onto the Facebook comments and tell me where this lives in your life. I want to know where it's living in your life today. And if it's not living in your life, I'm going to give you one of the most powerful exercises my guides ever gave me. Okay. And for those of you who are just joining us, if you did not receive my predictions, make sure to type that in the comment section as well. Always make sure to give me likes and loves because I like them. I want stars. So I'm going to give you a few moments to add that in. I want to know where it exists in your life today. So show me where it exists in your life today. And I will come back. So the reason why I do this is because we get very caught up on what we want, our dream, and we get more connected to the feeling of how far away it is than recognizing how close it really is. So what do I mean by that? If we are somebody, Rare wants to be a teacher, and maybe that feels really far away. I know this isn't her story, but I'm going to make up a story. Say Rare doesn't have her college degree yet, and she needs to go to college. So that's like a 4 or 5 year process, especially with education credits and all of that. So say that was the experience. So the dream feels so far away. And when it feels so far away, what happens to people is they get very focused on the lack instead of the abundance. And many times when you want a dream to come true, you don't yet have the emotional experience of it. Therefore, it can be fleeting because your vibration is not vibrating in the vibration of that dream. So instead of pulling it closer, you're pushing it away. So many of you, like said, you know, you want to feel love, you want to feel excited, you want to feel inspired, and you may not be having that experience. You may be going to a job that you hate, and all you're experiencing is the lack. Well, the great dream can't make its way to you if all you're feeling is lack. Okay, so let's see what some of you said. Susan said a new outfit. Great, love it. Rare said meditation, exercising, empowering others when I share. Beautiful. Elizabeth said God, source, yoga, Reiki, doing good things for people, understanding people's stories, hiking, bodies of water. Beautiful. Great. I know Sandra said something too. Sandra said, in my meditations, in my clients, positive changes, in my bike rides, in my soul to the very core of me, in my walks, when I hug my husband, when I hold a class. Yes, beautiful. Jessica, everywhere but feel stuck. Why? Why do you think you feel stuck, Jessica? I want to know. Micah says, being with my cat, walking on the beach, eating chocolate. Okay. So from what I'm seeing, okay, Jocelyn, I'm going to come to you in a second. All of those things are things that are in you can incorporate in your everyday life. Meditation, yoga, kissing your cat, buying a new outfit, even if it's at the secondhand store because you can't afford an outfit, whatever it may be. They have rent-a-clothes now for like $47. Anybody seen that? I certainly don't want to be renting people's clothing. I can't even wear secondhand clothing because of the energy. When Liliana just says when she helps someone, you can go to your neighbor's house and help someone. I want you to think about these things, and I want you to start making them an everyday part of your life, because the more you do that, the more it becomes your life, and what you want starts coming to you. So a long time ago, and I'm going to go back to some of those questions, Jocelyn says she's struggling, right? She said, not my life at the moment, eager for it to be there. Okay. So I'm going to answer this through my own personal story. So I was in that place of feeling really stuck. I had a big dream. I was feeling like it wasn't happening. I was really depressed. I was unhappy. And I started to work with my guides, and my guides were like, okay. I was like, I don't even know, like whenever I'd go for an audition, they'd say, what's your hobbies? And I'd have to make them up because I had no hobbies. My hobbies were trying to make my dream happen and walking my dog. Like I was so isolated, so alone. I had friends, but I just didn't even, like I was just this. And my guide said to me, all right, that's it. Every night before you go to bed, you need to write down the events of your day. And some of you may know that I teach this. Write down the events of your day, and you need to rate them from 1 to 10. 1 being the least fun and 10 being the most fun. And anything from a 7 to 10, you need to incorporate it into your life more. So my 7 to 10s were kissing my dog, running in the park, taking a yoga class, going down Larchmont. There was this street here in California. I loved going to the farmer's market. I like very simple things, sitting in a church service. It doesn't take a lot for me to feel completely joy, peace, exhilaration. And when I started recognizing where my joy was coming from, I started doing it more. What happened? My life started mirroring my 7 to 10s. And the 1 to 7s, the 1 to 6s started falling away because I was consciously creating my life. And therefore, when that email would come in to say, go to this party, and I knew that that was a 2 the last time I went, my answer was no. I wasn't going to do that. Or that friend that was needy, that needed me to have dinner with them, my answer was no. And I didn't make excuses for it. You know why I didn't make excuses? Because I had to survive. I was barely living, and I needed to change my life. Nobody was taking care of me. That needy friend wasn't giving me anything. So I took care of myself. So that's one of the things that I did. I wanted to see why. I think it was Barbara who said she was stuck, but I haven't seen an answer yet from that. No, it was Jessica who said she was stuck. So I'm not seeing her answer yet. I wanted to try to help her. So that is what I would say for you to do. Now, here's another thing they gave me, and I'm going to look at some of your questions in a second. They gave me the thing called the Souls List. And they had me do this before the 1 to 10 exercise, but I'm giving it to you out of sequence. What they had me do was write down on a list things that fed my soul. So it could be having a cup of tea, could be going to a farmer's market, could be taking a yoga class. Some of you may feel that it's going to Paris, or you have that trip to Italy, right? So I really encourage you to write this souls list down. I did this. I wrote the souls list down. I'm going to tell you what they had me do after I give you the instructions. Then I want you to do one of them a day. I want you to do one thing from that souls list a day. Now, what I used to teach, and I can still teach, is you put one of those, that souls list, all on index cards, right? So have 20 index cards. It has one thing on each index card, one thing. And then you would shuffle those cards up and pull one a day. Now, say the one you pull says go to Egypt, and you're like, well, can't go to Egypt today, Marilyn. No, but you can spend 10 minutes on the computer looking at pictures of Egypt, researching a trip to Egypt, planning a trip 2 years from now. What does that do? It lights up your soul. You're living in your soul's purpose then. Your soul's purpose is to acknowledge yourself. And so many of you are not acknowledging yourself. So when I did the souls list, right, I did it as a list. And then I taught the index cards later on in my classes, but I did it as a list. My guides made me do 3 things from that list a day. 3 things. Within 6 months, my entire life was that souls list. So much so that I was like, they were asking me a while ago to write a souls list, and I did write it, and I've been doing those now. You know, that was a while ago. I don't necessarily need to write them because I'm living my souls list. That's how you get into your purpose. Am I being clear? Let me know. Hit likes and loves and let me know, okay? Because we're going to stop soon. Yeah, so Jessica, when you're scared of how people are going to react to you, you don't want to focus on the fear going away. You want to take steps towards the dream. And as the fear comes up, you want to work with it. So say my fear was I recently did something and I handed something off to someone and they didn't accept it. They barely acknowledged it. And that really hurt my feelings. Well, my fear part, my old part would be like, okay, well, that dream's not going to happen because one person said no. No. Instead, what I'm doing is getting help from a writer, rewriting it, and then I'm going to go to someone else with it. So you want to step forward as much as you can. So say you want to, like you said, you want to teach and that just seems too far. Well, then take one person that you trust or ask somebody in Facebook community that you like and ask them, can I teach you this for free? Can I practice on you? Start doing it because the only person that's suffering is you, nobody else. Now, you know where else everybody else is suffering? They're not getting to know your beauty. They're not getting to know who you are. They're missing out on your gifts. Okay. So I'm going to take a few questions and then I'm going to go because I have to go somewhere, but I hope that helped you, Jessica. Yes. Parallel timelines. That's a whole other topic, but yes, what we want is already existing. That's what she means by that. What we want is already existing. How do we get into that vibration if it's already existing? Why is it so separate? Well, because we have blinders on, so we're not even seeing it because we're so focused on the lack and the scarcity. All right. Jocelyn says, I realize I've compartmentalized my life as I am a full-time carer to my parents, and this is overwhelming at times. My desire to be a fabric designer is shut away for now. I find fleeting moments of joy, Marilyn, but my energy is often drained. So very, very difficult when you're taking care of ailing parents. I don't know Dina's page, but Dina is somebody who's graduating out of my mastermind group, and found herself in a similar position. I think she'll be okay with me saying this. And she still focused, because she was in my mastermind group, so I kicked her butt a bit. She focused a little a day on her dream. I just had my last call with her, my last coaching call with her. Oh my goodness. Like I didn't even have to teach her. She was just gushing about how everything changed in her life. So Jocelyn, it's very difficult when you're dealing with ailing parents because you're very focused on that. It takes up a lot of your time, the energy, it drains you. But what's draining you even more is that you're not ignoring your dreams completely. So what I suggest you do is do one thing a day. Even if all that thing is looking at patterns or creating a Pinterest board of patterns or sewing something for just 5 minutes. I have a very difficult time when I have a big project just doing something for 5 minutes, but it's better than not doing it at all. So I've been doing a vision book, right? My guides have been asking me to do a vision book, which is much more powerful than a vision board. So they were like, I don't care if you do it for a half hour tonight, you have to do it. And it was the best thing I did. Then I put it in a pretty basket. I know where it is and I will pull it out and do it. So that's what I suggest to you. Jackie, you're asking where the predictions are. It'll come into your messenger bot. So it'll come into, so type in predictions and it'll come through Facebook Messenger. And if you don't get it, you can email us at info@marilynalauria.com. Okay, so Rebecca asks, why do I keep dreaming of celebrities and famous people? Probably because they have certain character traits that you want and have. So when you're dreaming about celebrities, it's usually because there's some type of character trait that they have that you have inside of you that you need to turn the light on. And the other reason is because you probably want their character traits as friends for you. So if you wanted to have them as, like, say, I used to dream about Jennifer Aniston and the cast of Friends all the time. Well, what I was really dreaming about was community. Like, I used to have that in Manhattan, where we were so close and together and taking care of each other, right? When I moved to LA, it was a little spread out and it was different, which is why I'm leaving LA. One of the reasons. Now, I think you can create whatever you want wherever you are, but I'm being pushed to leave. Not being pushed to leave. I'm choosing to leave as well. And with that said, so there's maybe something about the character traits that you want in a friend that you want in yourself. Can you give more examples of what could be on a souls list? Maybe smaller examples because besides a trip, thanks. So yes, definitely, Morgan. Great question. Having a trip on there is fine because it's not something you have to do tomorrow. But for me, it's like going to farmers markets. I used to love going to supermarkets in different neighborhoods, going to a different neighborhood and walking down a historical street, going to a museum, going to a coffee shop and just reading a book, going to a library in your area or checking out a new library and looking through the books, going to a bookstore and looking at the journals, going to a movie by yourself in the middle of the day, going for a hike, going and buying cheap flowers and rearranging them. I think that's enough. Is that good? Let me know, sweetie. Okay. I'm going to take one more and then I got to go. They're the same predictions. Yes. I'm just letting people know because not everybody is the same predictions. Maureen says, I've been so happy and full of abundant dreaming. Then boom, yesterday fell into deep depression, old family voices, especially were riding away that I cannot air, have those things, etc. Do you find if you get very inspired and happy that mind wants to keep us where we are and it can knock us down hard? No. What happens, Maureen, I do agree that happens. And what happens is the universe is just checking with you about how committed you are to that path, to where you are. So those are all character building moments when you're like really excited. I used to have this, like, when's the shoe going to drop? When's that friggin' shoe going to drop? You know, I don't have that energy anymore. I just know that when I move forward and if something, it happened, like I put on my Facebook personal page how I took the brackets off my dream and I'm limitless dreaming. And I was so excited and I acknowledged all my coaches. You know, there was like 11 people. I acknowledged 8 of them and I acknowledged them and thanked them for limitless dreaming. And then like 3 days after that, one thing after another went wrong. And one of those dreams got a little bit, you know, meow, like that. And I know now to deal with it. I know now that Spirit's teaching me something bigger and better, how to show up, how to not abandon myself in those moments, how not to give up. So I do my tools and techniques on how to take care of myself. So I saw your message to me and I didn't get to answer it because I was on a meeting for over 2 hours and I got to go in a second. But my answer to your question, Maureen was asking, and I don't think you're going to mind me saying this because it'd be very beneficial for everybody and you're being open here. What do you do if you're feeling emotional and you're at the workplace and you're about to have a breakdown? So what did I used to do? When that used to happen to me, let me tell you something. The bathroom stall was my best friend. That bathroom stall, I can tell you every job I was in, and I can't tell you what my office looked like, but I can tell you what the bathroom stall looked like because I became great friends with the bathroom stall. I would sit in there. I did not give a shit. Well, there's a play on words there. And I would just be with myself. And I would allow myself to have my emotions in a safe space. The other thing I did, I went through something really difficult at MTV once. I would leave the building. I used to be a smoker, so I would leave the building and have a cigarette. And then when I quit smoking, I would still leave the building and walk around the building. I would walk to another floor. I would ride the elevator, you know, I would just get away. I had a friend who worked at a restaurant. I'd go to the restaurant. So what I suggest you do when you're having those moments, I'm telling you, the bathroom stall was my best friend, or leave the building or go someplace, just go someplace and gather yourself and be with yourself and have like a podcast that you love or something that you want to listen to on your phone or quotes in your phone. And it's 111, Maureen, 111, that's for you and for me. And have that in your phone and read it. So go into the bathroom and just read that stuff. And that'll help you. And Elizabeth said we forget to breathe. Breathe when we are anxious and emotional. I do it all the time. Exactly. And to be honest with you, that's why I realized when I quit smoking, you know, back then, I was breathing. Smoking was a messed up way to breathe, but it was what made me breathe and pause. Also, smoking can deaden your emotions, you know, make them things. So that's what I suggest. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week, I'm not going to be live, but we'll throw up some kind of really cool, Maureen, I'm glad that helped. We'll go up some really cool video from the past. Maybe what I'll do is, it's 11:11 in Hawaii, Jan. I love that. Maybe what we'll do is, I don't know, we'll find something. Maybe we'll put the 1 to 10 exercise up there again in the souls list so you can play with that and see it. All right, everybody, if you like this video, you feel it could help your friends, please, please, please share it. I would love it. And remember, if you haven't received my predictions yet, there they are. Just type in the word predictions and you'll get them. Much love to all of you. Have a great day. Bye.